एक मिनट रुक जाओ, रेडी होने दो। चलो ये कर लेते हैं। दिस कुड बी अ ग्रेट इंट्रो।
Hi, I'm Akshay.
Hi, this is Saurabh, and you are listening to the Founder Thesis podcast. We meet some of the most celebrated startup founders in the country.
And we want to learn how to build a unicorn.
So there are two broad hype cycles happening right now. One is about the whole cryptocurrency blockchain space, and the other is about the whole metaverse space. I don't know about metaverse and whether this is just hype or it'll actually amount to something, but I know for sure that crypto is real. Crypto is going to be probably what people used to imagine what the internet would be way back in 90s. I think we are at that stage in crypto where people are imagining what all crypto could be, but we can't even imagine the ways in which it is going to change our lives, change society, change how everything happens in the world, which is why I love talking to founders of crypto based startups to really get a glimpse into what the future could be like. Today, I'm talking to the founders of Giottus, which is among the leading crypto exchanges in India. You may not have heard of Giottus as much as the other exchanges because they don't make so much noise. They prefer to grow organically. But the founders of Giottus are amazing in their thought process, in the way they have clarity of the potential of crypto, in the way they are putting customer first in everything they're doing. And this episode is really a masterclass about cryptocurrency and how crypto is going to change the world. So here's Arjun and Vikram, the founders of Giottus, talking about the birth of the idea that really made them quit their well-paying jobs and start Giottus.
It's an amazing journey, right? So far, we have taken for granted what money is, right? It's issued by someone and how it works and all those things. Suddenly, you start questioning, right? You start understanding why US dollar is a reserve currency, what makes it a reserve currency, what if Bitcoin becomes a reserve currency, and there's a lot of ifs, right? What if Bitcoin replaces gold? Why it will replace gold? How is it better? And all those things. Things I have always taken like you started questioning why people value gold so much. What makes gold important, right? Then you read Sapiens, right? It talks about how history, how India has valued gold always, and because Europeans they had nothing to give to India in return, they wanted spices a lot, right? And they had and Indians says, give me gold. Because of that, gold created had so much value. They started going to New World and all those places hunting for gold. Like we, as a single country, we created a huge demand for gold, and now gold is having so much value across the world, right? So it was a very fascinating time.
So like gold is a shared delusion
Absolutely,
in
yes,
a way. Like everyone agrees it's valuable, so it's valuable.
exactly, right. Uh, and also at that point of time, Bitcoin versus Bitcoin Cash, right? This was a very philosophical argument that was going at that point of time. And these people were, this is like the proper debates that are happening. So for us, it was like such exciting times. Like in 1990s, such debates should have happened in standards of internet also, right? Netscape versus Internet Explorer, like what should be the format, HTML, CSS, and all those things kind of. So I thought this phase we are like very lucky to be part of this, right? We always read history and all those things. I used to like, had I been there in World War II, how interesting it would have been. Had I been there in the 1990s, how interesting it would have been. Like now I got a chance, right? Internet is kind of getting rebuilt in a decentralized way. And at that point in time, I also had this. Like I was reading a lot about AI, kind of realized now drivers are becoming like you obsolete, right? Once driving is obsolete, a lot of simple things like cooking and all those things are going to get obsolete, right? Even writing coding, if you're able to train a guy in 1 year, why can't you train a computer, right? Because once you train one computer, it shares the learning across 10. So at maybe in 10, 15 years of years, we'll have a generic AI. Okay. At that point of time, the singularity will be achieved and everything is going to be controlled by 3 4 computer companies like Amazon, which already has the AWS, right? You just need before it was labor and capital. Now you don't need labor, it's just going to be capital and hardware. So I thought even Infosys, TCS,
And possibly
yeah,
data.
absolutely, right? That's like the input. So at some point of time, it's just going to be there's going to be no TCS, no Infosys, no software companies, no nothing companies. Like it's just going to be robots and software, and it's going to be like Google, Amazon. like big three, big four, they are going to control the world. It was just getting more and more towards that. And then this decentralization came. You don't need a middleman, right? You don't need a Facebook, right, to share the data. You can have a decentralized social network. You can have a decentralized e-commerce. You can have a decentralized chat application. This is an amazing idea. This is how the world should be. It should not be in the control of like one, like you have all those apocalyptic scenarios, like where there's an umbrella corporation ruling the world and all those things. Like this is like the solution out. And so it's like almost like saving the world. Like we have almost reached that point. And in 2015-16, privacy was a huge thing. Like how Facebook has control over your data, Google has so much control over your data, GDPR, and all those discussions are going. And this kind of became the panacea. This is the solution. So even now, there's a running joke, right? Bitcoin solves this. Bitcoin solves this. They say a random problem and people say Bitcoin solves this. At that point, it kind of looked like that, right? Decentralization was like an amazing, amazing thing. Like you are almost convinced that this is how the world is going to become, right? The world is going to be controlled by three, four big corporations, right? And now you are saying, okay, decentralization will happen and power will be given back to the people, right? People will run the community will run the everything, right? So that was a fascinating thing at that point of time. And at that point,
But how did this lead to a business idea? So you are saying that blockchain and decentralized finance has a great future, which I think everyone agrees with. But what is the business opportunity
so
out of
started
that?
that we kept reading, and just like everyone, right? When you start reading and we are tracking these products, you see the price growth, right? You obviously start trading, right? We became traders, right? We started trading. We were passively trading initially, and at some point of time, we were aggressively trading,
at
right?
that
It
point of
so
time,
became
that was the end goal, right? We wanted to understand the technology so that we can trade, right? We didn't think about running a business or building a business here. We are so excited about it, right? See, it all started like I wanted to purchase a Bitcoin, but before purchasing, I wanted to understand how it works. Right? Once I understood, I thought like, what is the next? What is next? How Ethereum works? How IOTA works? Started comparing how I should split my investments. Right? We had a lot of healthy arguments, right? And Vikram, you want to continue?
Yeah, so there was a lot of trades, Akshay. So, not just in one or two coins. There was a time in the portfolio there used to be more than 50 to 60 coins we used to trade at a point of time, right? Uh,
Okay, so you had like a
yeah, we
pooled
both had a pooled
portfolio, like
portfolio,
you
and I
pulled in
mean, it
money
used to
and
be, and I don't know, at some point of time, since we were talking a lot about cryptos, we had a lot of our friends even, who started getting on board, and since they didn't have a lot of time to trade themselves, they used to, ask us to trade on their behalf, right? I mean, so unofficially, we were just, just for friends, we were trading and we were trading with our own money and everything. And what so happens that we used to read a lot, read about new coin, and when we have a gut feeling about this coin, we go and invest in that coin. We
The
did
funny
some
thing
ICO
is,
investments.
neither me or Vikram, we had invested in stock markets till that point in time. Vikram had Amazon stocks, right? We were not traders, right? At that point in time, because stocks, I thought there's all the information is publicly available. There's no edge, right? Right. So I didn't even have a passive investment going on in stock markets, right? I was paying off my education loan and everything. I think Vikram would have had other these things. So we are not actively investing in stock markets also. We just jumped 2 levels and directly went into crypto investments.
Yeah. So that's what happened, right? So a lot of trading happened, and in the process of doing a lot of trading, right? See, you interact with a lot of exchanges. Interact in the sense you trade and you first buy your Bitcoin in the Indian exchange. At that point of time, I think there were three exchanges: Zepe, Unocoin, and
Coin secure.
CoinSecure, right? Now, if you see after 4 or 5 years now, the landscape has totally changed now, right? At that point of time, in India, if you had to purchase using INR, you could buy only Bitcoin, right? And all the players at that time was giving only a two-way quote model, a buy price and a sell price. Usually it'll be at a very very high premium compared to the general market price or the market price outside, right?
okay, so like buying in India was
Still,
costlier
even
than
now it
buying
is.
in the
Even now it
US, for
is, right?
example.
See, the
Okay,
general
okay,
reason
okay.
being the cryptos are not mined here. There's no supply of crypto within India, right? So that's why it's
You don't have sellers
right.
who
So there
want to
are few
take INR
people,
for Bitcoin.
who do the
See,
Okay.
at that point of time, there are also no marketplaces. Coin secure was a marketplace. The other two were like a brokerage. right? You directly, they are the counterparties. Otherwise, you have to go through a platform called local Bitcoins, right? Which was a peer-to-peer. You need to find sellers who are selling Bitcoin, and then trust-based issues, time, like
Like a OLX or a
absolutely,
quicker
absolutely.
kind
The
of a.
experience is not seamless, right? You might find a good seller, you might find a fraud. So the experience was not smooth.
Yeah. See, and only when you provide a real time order book, right? Like how you see in an NSE or a BSE when you trade, you're gonna get a better price to the customers, right? Or till that time, the exchange will make a lot of margin out of it, and the prices are always going to be high, right? Now, during this phase, this is the only option available, right, for
And the
every
spread was as
Indian.
high as 60,000, 70,000. The fee over the spread, some exchanges charged a fee of like 1.18 percentage. It was very crazy.
So what happens when you make the real buyers and sellers interact with each other through an order book? They will make sure that the prices, the buy and sell prices, come close to each other. Supply and demand will take care of it, right? For that, you'll have to give
If you have a
large enough pool
large
of buyers
enough
and
pool of
sellers,
buyers
right?
and
Now,
sellers,
see,
like you
now,
need.
now here, if you take the exchange out of equation, the exchange deciding price out of equation, the buyers and sellers, the supply and demand will take care of the price, and that is going to be the best price available, right? Now, at that point of time, there were a lot of this brokerages or the two-way court model, as people say, right? So, what the traders here do, we buy Bitcoin from an Indian exchange here, take it to an international exchange, and then do our other trades. These international exchanges are open order books, like what the buyers and sellers of the common order book, and they had the option to buy and sell in more than 100 plus cryptos, right? So the only job that the Indian exchanges at that point were doing is helping you to buy your Bitcoin so that you can go and do your trades to buy the other cryptos, right? So it was this phase we faced a lot of inefficiencies, right? The first inefficiency: why should I buy only Bitcoin using INR, right? Why can't I buy other cryptos, right? Why don't you launch it? Part one. Part two, right? That this was the game changing part for us was the customer service, right? The incident so happened in one of the exchanges, one of the exchange when we bought my, I mean, I was about to buy the Bitcoin. I had transferred somewhere around 2.5 3 lakh rupees, right? Some banking issue. See, usually there are banking issues, right? No, there's no, that's an issue with the bank. Payment fails, it doesn't get reversed. There was some banking issue, and I wanted to reach out to the exchange asking, now what is this? Should I be waiting or what to do? It so happened for 1 week, I was just running pillar and post to find out the person I have to reach out to, right?
And it's
To
a
3
big
lakhs,
sum, no,
right?
like 2 3 lakhs.
And 1 week to just reach out, right? To reach out and understand, okay, because all the general support mails they had, there was no response. And see now why this is a pain point for me, because parallelly I'm working in Amazon, right? Here things are totally the reverse.
Which is
Yeah, customer
obsessed
obsession,
with
right? So
customer
I
support.
do,
Yeah.
I mean, I give my reviews and everything based on, okay, how customer obsessed I was in this quarter, right? My performance is related on that. So we are thinking that the industry is so big. We have a heart saying that the industry is going to grow so big in future. Now, the way the exchanges are handling the industry seemed so short term, right? I'm getting money now. I'll just make money out of it for now. There was no futuristic thought process that was there. This triggered, right? This triggered saying that, okay, now why don't we bring in all the features which we are seeing in international exchange in India, right? We already did our financial modeling, and after this we did our financial modeling to see, okay, how big is the industry at that point of time itself was a big industry. See, and the beauty with running an exchange is, an exchange, the unit cost of running after some point of time, it keeps reducing. It's the same engine and everything. As the number of trade increases, there's no additional cost you're incurring here. Expenses are
The
fixed. I
expenses are
mean, so,
fixed.
so as the number of trades increases, you're going to make a lot of money, right? So since that is going to happen, there's going to be a big industry. It's a really good opportunity to enter in, right? So there was no question of should we enter into, is it a profitable industry? Yes, it was a profitable industry. Is there a problem to be solved? There was like we pointed to three issues that we're going to solve. One, we will launch an open order book, not a two-way quote model. Okay, we will have a transparency in the pricing, so it's going to be an open order book. Two, we'll be launching coins more than Bitcoin, right? See, currently in Giottus, if you see, we have 110 plus coins to trade with. The third important thing we chose was the customer support is going to be better than even the international exchanges. So till date, if that's why your core that you take as your business core really matters. Till date, when you ask any Giottus customer, and ask them for a feedback on Giottus, leave anything in tech or coin supply, anything they say or they might not say, but one thing they definitely say is we are highly responsive. Okay, we quickly respond. That was the process and the system that was built from the day one, right? In the initial days, it so happened that we wanted to achieve this responsiveness crazily. Me and Arjun, we used to take turns being awake in the night, right? Because it was a very, very small team,
Okay.
24-hour support, and we need to
24-hour
be responsive,
support.
right? Because I see when you have a team size which is very small, it's not just a customer support guy who's going to attend the call. Someone has to operationally resolve that issue as well, right? So there needs to be someone in Arjun and my cadre to resolve it quickly, right? Now we have a bigger team who will take care of all these activities, but we wanted to ensure this from the day one, right? So that's how the brand got built, saying that okay, we're very responsive, right? That people can quote some other advantage or disadvantage, but I'm pretty sure that this is the place we stand in the customer's mind. Yeah.
And those days are magical, right? You're like so excited. The first time a customer deposits, you see like 100 customers, 1,000 customers, right? So till that point of time, you just have a idea. Like you think, see, all through the 2017 and all, whenever we went to investors also, we said, what are going to be big at? We said customer support. But that's something that everyone says. No one believes you. If you say customer support as this thing, right? So even when we went to our customers, you talk about, so we had no clue how we are going to get first 1,000 customers, but it happened, right? People could see our honest efforts. Like we were there solving their issues. We had a telegram group.
So I want to ask a few questions before we come to the actual go to market. So did you guys
We
then
did.
quit your job to start the exchange, or was it something that okay, you quit your jobs, and so you must have bootstrapped it, or did you like look for funding first, or like tell me about that journey from being employees to entrepreneurs, that transition period, like how did you actually launch things, and how did you choose this name of Giottus? Giottus. Sorry. So, and that's another question I have. That why did you choose such a difficult name?
See, so the plan was to start Bootstrap from the day one. See, okay, we both are big fans of Zerodha. Okay, as a matter of fact, we have stretched ourselves to be a bootstrap till date, right? Among all the exchanges who are competing with us now, or who have started with us, who are there in the market, not there in the market, I think we are the only guys to be bootstrap till date, right? And who also have a larger customer base comparatively, right? So again, being big fans of Zerodha, that's even now, right? So operationally run, all exchanges are good to run, right? It's the customer acquisition which is requiring a lot of funding, which so ideally for that, we'll start looking around now. But yeah, from the day one, it has been bootstrapped. It has been Arjun and my earnings from our jobs, that we are completely put into Giottus, and we are
And
dropping it out.
we have to give a big shout out to the overall ecosystem, like AWS, right? Without AWS, bootstrapping would have been like so difficult, right? Without Freshdesk, it would have been so difficult, right? With all these tools in place, all these SaaS based tools in place, we're only paying for what we are using. It's kind of really easy to start up these days, right? 10 years back, I don't know, maybe one of us would have sold our houses to bootstrap, but it was kind of simple at that point of time. Right. And also,
It's easy to build an MVP basically, but customer acquisition is still where you
yes,
need to
at
spend
that point
money.
in time, even I said, Vikram, why don't we go for funding? So we were ourselves not convinced, like, who would fund just on an idea basis, right? Someone needs the proof of execution, right? Let's build this, let's start running the operation, let's show them that we are building so and so, and then maybe look at funding. And at that point in time, we also have like clear needs, right? How are we going to take funding? Where are you going to use it? And all those things. And this is the time when the RBI was also the circular got released. I think Vikram, let's get
I
into
think,
the
I think, I think
Right,
I'll
right,
come
right.
to
The
that
crypto
journey. I
winter.
think that's a amazing story that we can talk about. Okay, so yeah, so see, the first thing was we both got convinced that okay, we'll quit our jobs, start the activity. I quit my job exactly 3 months before my next vesting of stock was going to happen. Okay, so that was the level the idea grabbed. So saying that okay, now it's mature. The thought process is very clear. Let's just go ahead and do it, right? So that happened. We built the product. Okay, the first hurdle we faced was the order book
before.
exchange.
No, so what happened was in 2017 this was happening, right? What we thought was an amazing idea, the same
Exactly.
time, a lot of other companies also thought, right? Because they all face the same problem. So by the time February, March, I started getting jittery because I was seeing news all across. So
That's when all these coin DCX,
Not
coin
Coin
switch, they
DCX.
were all
None of these
like,
guys were there. It
none of
was
these
this
guys are
guy
there.
called
I thought
Coin X.
CoinX.
Okay,
So
so
they
that
launched.
guy did see, it so happened what the exchange product we wanted to launch, that guy had launched, right? And we were building the product. He had launched, and he became, within a matter of 2 months, he became a leader in the market. And by December, right, December 2017, he did the highest trade volume compared to everyone else, right? So this shook us a bit, right? Saying that okay, now it is the almost similar product offering that what we are going to do. Is it okay to do, right? So that's when the belief kicked in again. It's not the similar product, right? It's not the product we are betting on. It's a concept, right? The
it's the
customer
customer
support we are
support,
betting on,
right?
the way we are reaching out to the customer, that's going to matter,
Hmm.
right? So that's the gut again with which we followed.
And also it was like a proof of this thing, right? So this idea works in the market. This is what a market react, and someone has already taken the bet and they have proved, right? Whatever our belief, it was going the right direction. And apart from CoinX, there was like another 30-40 exchanges which were either getting built, they're getting launched in a month or two. So, and it's going to be from a blue ocean. There are hardly 3-4 companies not giving proper support. There's like huge gap in the market. Now there's like going to be extreme competition, right? And the marketplace model works based on critical mass, right? Just like a social network. You need enough number of customers to have that liquidity going on. You need enough number of buyers and sellers at the same time. In such a fragmented market, a lot of people are going to get killed. We are very clear on that. So, but we have started something. We had to go on, so we kept on building the product, right? Uh, so at this is the time we were like almost like a week before our launch, right? Uh, we are making the final touches. Then this big
No, I
shock
think we
came.
opened up for registration. Registrations
Yeah,
were
we
happening.
had opened up for registrations, but the product launch was still a week away, right? And this time the shock came. RBI sent the circular out which said banks cannot deal with crypto entities, right? So this was like a shocker for a lot of people, even for us, right? You had spent like we have quit in like what September, October. It has been like 5, 6 crazy months. We have built a good product, right? We did all the testing and all. It's almost ready, right? Just in the nick of the time when this happens, we went crazy. Like, what do we do, right? Then we started looking at the market, like how this is working in other markets. In China, the same thing was there, right? So peer to peer was the solution, right? So in a normal marketplace model, what happens is we are an escrow for both. Say you are looking to sell bitcoins, you will deposit Bitcoin in my exchange. The buyer who wants to buy, he deposits money in my bank account. I recognize, okay, I have received both. Then you do make an agreement. Okay, you are selling at X price, he's buying at Y price. Okay, there's some order matching happened. Then you can withdraw the money to your bank account. He can withdraw bitcoins to his bank account, not to his wallet, right? But now, since I cannot have a bank account, right, I cannot take money from him, right? I cannot do an escrow. So what we did is we made the model slightly different, right? I am in the escrow for the cryptocurrencies. For you to sell Bitcoin, you'll just transfer it to my exchange. But the buyer, he will not send money to me, he'll send the money directly to you, right? After this, you give a confirmation, right? You have received the money, and based on that, I'll release the coins to the buyer, right? So this is called peer-to-peer model. So we are the first spot. So we realized, okay, right? So far we didn't have a USP, right? customer support was the USP, but this is very good. It's going to be a hard sell. Now we got something that's like really unique, and this is what the customer wants. Right? There was a huge panic in the market. However, and the good thing is the RBI gave a 3 months moratorium. Right? People are really worried what is going to happen after 3 months. Right? Should I hold on to my bitcoins? And this is a proper thing that's happening, right? So should I hold on to my bitcoins? Should I sell and all those things? So when we took like 3-4 days, we built this product, right? And we said you don't have to worry, right? Even after 3 months of moratorium, you can still continue to trade. Join Giottus, and this worked beautifully, right? So this was almost, we realized it was a blessing in disguise, right? Otherwise, you have said India's crypto, like most customer friendly cryptocurrency exchange. This is what we would have pitched to a lot of customers. It would have been a very hard sell convincing people, right? But so what happened is we had both spot exchange and P2P going on at the same time. A lot of people joined because of P2P, but they started trading in the spot exchange because spot exchange is so.
What is spot
Marketplace model,
exchange?
right? The order book based, right? So a lot of people started trading in the order book only because P2P is not so easy, right? You have to wait for the seller to get converted.
Yeah, there's friction.
I have to wait for you to say, okay, I've received the money. It might take 1 hour, right, for the money to reach you, and there'll be limits. Beneficiary after you add beneficiary. So all these problems are there, and people are not ready to trust and all those things, right? So, but our spot exchange was a huge success, and we got a lot of customers. Then we started working, right? We know this is spot exchange is going to be there for like 3 months. After that, we have to ensure that there is a smooth experience for the customers, right? So we started adding features. We were the first guys to, and we were the only guys to give insurance. So what generally happens in these kind of things is one buyer or seller might try to fraud the other guy, right? Right. What the buyer would do is he'll say I have sent the money, but he may not have sent the money. So it goes to a dispute, right? At the same time, you might have received the money, but you'll claim I have never received the money. So then I have to check, take the. See, the thing is, we had a foolproof process, right? I'll ask for a bank statement from both you guys. I'll know whether the money has been sent, received, or all those things, right? Even if you are trying to forge the document, I can make you come on a video call, do a screen share, make you do a net banking, because there's a very clear this thing. You have paid the money or not paid the money. The other person has received the money or not received the money. This can be resolved. But customer had their doubts, right? So we created an insurance product. So if our dispute resolution goes wrong and you have been wrongly, you have to forfeit the cryptocurrency or the money, right? We will reimburse up to 1 full Bitcoin, we said. And again, this gave confidence for a lot of customers, right? We started, for anyone who was placing the peer-to-peer order for the first time, we made a call to them. See, because we were very small, we could do things like this that the larger players could not do, right? We could call each individual buyer and seller and educate them. Okay.
Though WazirX also pivoted to peer-to-peer, no?
After
I think
people
they
saw
also.
that what we are doing, they started. So CoinX launched something called a loop. WazirX launched a peer-to-peer model, right? So most of the other players, they realized like P2P is the only way to survive, and they all moved to P2P.
Mm-hmm. How did you acquire customers? Was it through like ad spend, like Google,
So
Facebook,
the good
and
thing
all?
and the
Or,
bad thing
like,
is you cannot do that. For cryptocurrencies, exchanges, Google, Facebook, they don't allow ads, right? Some people bypass it one way or the other. But see, had it been the way, that would have been the easy way out for us. We would have spent like lakhs and lakhs of rupees to acquire our initial set of customers. But since that option was not available, we had to do it through the hard way, right? We started going to the communities. There are a lot of Telegram communities at that point of time, Facebook groups. We started saying like, this is what we are. These are principles. This is what we offer, and what we promise is a good customer support. And we have to do like one to one conversion.
Yeah. But
And
majority of our acquisition had come from a referral model, right? A lot of the customer acquisition in Giottus, even till date, comes from the referral system what we have.
do you have a reference scheme?
So it's a referral scheme wherein we give
Okay,
60% of the earning we take from the customers back to the referrer, right? So
if earning in the first transaction, or like
all the transactions.
define earning.
So now, suppose if I take, we give it for the first 1 year, right? So basically, if I'm getting 100 rupees earning from the customer, I give 60 rupees to the person who has referred him, and 40 rupees we take back, right? So this referral model got in a lot of customers. See, the good thing with this is, uh, though a lot of people could talk about a big customer base and all, the active customer base percentage in Giottus is much, much better because the customer who we had acquired was majorly through referral, right? Now,
And these
and
people
they
are
were
looking
acquired
to buy.
during
Yeah.
the majority of the customer base was acquired during the time when there was a tough time for the Indian market, right? When the P2P was there and everything. So these are the set of customers who are wanting to trade no matter what.
They are
The
the
true
true
believers,
believers.
right? So the active customer base, the active trade base is usually what we track. It's much much higher there, higher in Geotas, which is more than 60% here in Geotas, which is a huge number, right? So this helped us. Now even see now if even if I go start with doing a lot of advertisement spends and everything, we're pretty sure our base is going to increase, which we will be doing for sure. But how much percentage of people are going to be actively trading will start reducing, right? Till now the gem has been that okay, these are referred by a person who's already believes in your exchange. So now in this model what happens, right? When why does he refer us? He thinks that so and so, for example, I say we are very very responsive, right? A customer is responsive. He says that and gets these guys to trade with us. So that particular branding, what we wanted to do, keeps spreading, right? You join this because of this good factor, right? So
See,
ideally, that is one of the reasons why that now one of your key questions you had asked, right? Why Giottus? Why not? Why such a tough name,
Easy
right?
name. Like a coin,
Correct.
coin
Now,
something.
did you notice, when you were talking about the exchanges during 2017 or 18, you were trying to say coin DCX or anything. You were not able to recall CoinX quickly. The thing is, right, and generally when you're naming, right, what happens? Usually in a crypto space, you will find companies either having a coin with them
bit,
or an X,
bit.
EX with them or a bit with them. You just try to, see all the names, it'll have these three. So what generally happens, imagine, no, during the time we were talking about 30 to 35 exchanges that were live.
What is the EX coming
Exchange.
from?
Exchange.
Like, what is the exchange? Okay.
Okay, that's why coin X, okay, Bitfinex, okay, a lot of X comes, right? So what happens now? Now imagine we were there during a time when 35 people were there in the market, and 35 more people were wanting to come into the market. Everyone will come with a combination of all this, right? So how do I grab a real estate space in the customer's mind, right? The only way we thought is to do is okay, now leave all these names, right? Have a name which is going to talk about our philosophy, right? Let's have a background story rather than saying X or coin or bit or anything like that. This is what we wanted to see. Now Arjun was talking about the phase when there was a P2P and everything, right? That was it was a boon in disguise. In P2P, there is a need for a lot of interaction with the support. There's a need, inbuilt need,
Yeah, you need a lot
right?
of, yeah,
And we were the
yeah,
guys who were
yeah,
doing
true.
it better.
Because there's so much friction, so you need a lot of
Correct. So that
manual
guy does not
intervention.
approve whatever he has sent. So there's a lot of manual intervention required. And we were the only guys, even then until now, giving a regionalized support. Right? We give support in all the South Indian languages. Now we are offering it even in Bengali, Oriya, Gujarati, we are adding up. Right? So a lot of regionalized support. Till date, we are the only guys who are delivering. So this helps. Right? Now this phase, right? Now what happened now, even in 2020, when the Supreme Court verdict came, what we did, we had a concept that okay, now at some point of time there's going to be some clarity. When that clarity comes, we will be the first guys to have a solution ready in hand, right? 2.5 months before this verdict came, I think we were lucky to do at that point of time. We had already gone and integrated with someone who can help us enable instant deposit. Okay, instant deposit is, for each customer there will be a bank account number that we'll be giving. You transfer amount to that account number within a matter of seconds, it will reflect in Giottus account.
First year, how much did you have as your gross transaction value? Like, first year of
Okay, let's
business.
consider monthly basis, no? Monthly trade volume, we used to do somewhere around maybe a million, 2 millions, right? On a simple dollars.
Dollars, you're
On a
talking.
simple comparison, on a normal day, we do 2 to 3 million today. Okay, on a normal day, right? If it's a peak day and then it goes crazy, right? So that's the growth. right? Pre and post, a year post the verdict has come.
And how many users did you have in 2020, like
So
beginning of
2020, let's
2020, say?
consider maybe a 40,000 or 30,000 users, right? Now we are sitting at more than 4 lakh plus users. Yeah.
See,
So,
also the other remember is 2018 was a bear market,
yeah.
right? One of the reasons why a lot of like Coin Delta, CoinX, all these people went out of the business was it was middle like people thought Bitcoin was illegal at that point of time, though it was not, right? It was clearly said it's legal even at that point of time, but people had this perception, and it was a bear market. So the new customers kind of became zero. Like only the existing players are there. But at that point of time, these businesses had built a huge team, and they were not profitable at that point of time, right? The volumes were not able; they were not able to support that. But thankfully, we were just starting at that point of time. We ensured that we didn't, our team, even right now, our team size is kind of small to the volume that we do. Per employee, our volume should be one of the highest in the industry, right? So, but we are very clear, like we have to have a lean setup. So, no market. So, in crypto business, one of the most important things, or any startup, right? The key thing is surviving for 4 to 5 years, right? You face a lot of almost near death events in those 3 to 4 years, right? But once you cross that stage, you already have a product market fit, you have a loyal customer base, right? After that, killing you becomes next to impossible. So we ensured we had a lean team. We prioritize security over anything, right? If in 2018-19, if you look at it, we would have had the fewest number of coins, right? Or like new products, right? But we ensured that we didn't get hacked, because once you get hacked, you are killed.
What is the percentage of users who are active, like out of these 4 lakh users that you have?
60% plus.
How do you define active? Or is there a standard industry norm of defining active?
No, there's no. See, I mean, apart from the KYC norm that we all industry players have agreed to, there's obviously nothing standard. So we take 3 month, 3 month trade.
Okay, at least one transaction in last 3
One
months.
transaction in the last 3 months. Any
Got it.
meaningful transaction.
And what is the customer onboarding journey like? Like, what is the KYC requirement? And
see, the customer has to submit his or her PAN card, and then a secondary proof, which is the address proof, an Aadhaar or a voter ID or a passport or a driving license, right? So we do a check with the government databases to ensure if whatever the card that they provided, the names and everything match and the details match, right? And then we also ask for their bank account through which that they're going to transact. We again do a check if the bank account and the Aadhaar card names match, if it's their account. Okay, once that is done, then we approve the KYC of the customer, right?
and how much time does it take for approval?
5 minutes, yeah, because it's all API integrations and um, I mean, so there's a lot of AI and everything that's got followed, and usually 90% is it takes 5 minutes. 10% where the image is not clear, there's some issue. Either it's approved or rejected. Either of that 90% are either approved or rejected. 10% will read a manual intervention, right?
So people need to type in, or they just scan and then your the image you like parse the Aadhaar number from the image.
So both features are there. I mean, we parse it and put it, but people have to update. If it has passed it wrongly, right? So again, so that's when a manual intervention might be needed. Maybe it's a blurred photo and things like that. Though we say it pre-hand, the image is blurred. At times it might get accepted, and the OCR might not do a good job.
And for first trade, what is needed? Like they have to first transfer money to you to the exchange,
Yeah. So see, the process is. So usually, now the way it works is.
So it's not like a Amazon checkout where I choose my product, click buy, and I'm going to a payment gateway. It's not like that.
No.
See,
no. So
what we do is we ensure that customer starts positive, right? We give free cryptocurrencies to start off with, right? So even before you do any activity, you can claim your free cryptocurrencies.
What do you give as like?
We used to give Matic, then Matic really got expensive. When we started giving Matic around 50-60 paisa, then it went all the way up to it's like 150-200 rupees, right? So we moved to a coin called BitTorrent.
So we are keeping, we are even choosing coins according to. We had actually a partnership with Matic, where we were promoting Matic initially, right? We launched Matic. I mean, we still believe a lot in that project as well, right? So it was Matic, and then now it is BTT, right? But there is more to create excitement among customers, right? This will keep changing. So currently it is BTT, BitTorrent.
Why did you add this friction of loading your wallet first? Like, why not make it like Amazon that you place your order and then you go to a payment gateway?
See, the first thing here is you cannot assure the price. For example, someone locks one Bitcoin, right? By the time the 50 lakh reaches us, the price of one Bitcoin might be 60 lakhs or 40 lakhs, right? And if it goes to 40 lakhs, he'll just cancel the order. Why should I pay 50 lakhs for something that's worth 40 lakhs? And if it goes to 60 lakhs, I will be kind of hesitant. So it's better to preload the money and then make the purchase.
No, you need to close the trade instantly. Like there can be no delay. Whereas payment gateway, there will be at least a minute or two of delay by the time you.
Absolutely. And the payment gateway also holds an inventory, right? And the inventory, the price doesn't change a lot. Here, there's a lot of volatility. So this is almost like margin requirements in stocks, right? Even in stock market, this is the principle and processes that are followed, right?
So is this the case for all crypto exchanges? Everyone makes you load first?
Yeah.
Yes.
See, the thing is, you cannot, it's a heavily volatile market here, right? Like Arjun said, you cannot promise the price for more than some time, right? See, for example, the one click model, what we are showing here, we are actually promising a price, right? Till some X amount, we are promising a price. So that is a risk that the exchange is taking, right? And how are we handling that risk? By adding some margin to it, right? So it might be a good product for beginners, right? Because a beginner might end up losing more in an open order book exchange without knowing how to place an order. It will work good for a beginner to buy it in the two-way quote model, the easy buy and sell, as we call it, or the one-click option. As you see, this product was also built as an evolution model for the customer. The beginner will start with this, and then they will slowly start moving towards the open order book exchange, where they'll generate a lot of value for themselves. Yeah, and we are offering, now it's been more than 100 plus cryptos they are offering to trade, right? The more you research, the more you try each and every coin, the platform will, be much more useful for you. So you start with Bitcoin, Ethereum. That's a gradual progression that we are seeing with people. Apart from there is another progression type of progression we are seeing with people is where they start with a meme coin, SHIB or a Doge, right? They try to ride the wave, and after some time they realize that okay, these waves are short-lived, and then they come to the Bitcoin, Ethereum route.
So, like, the two systems of buying that you have, is this common across others like CoinDCX, CoinSwitch, WazirX? Do they all have these two systems, like closed book and open book? Like, if you can help me understand the characteristics of each of these players and how it compares with you, just as a lay of the land, what does the industry look like?
Few have both, few don't have. See, for example, a CoinSwitch Kibir has only this two-way quote model, this one-click model. They will not don't have a open order book model, right? WazirX has an open order book, and recently
And
they
what
launched-
is what is the coin switch pitch then? That they must be saying that this is a better approach. So what is their pitch to a customer?
Their pitch is like, this is the convenient way to buy crypto, right?
Okay, so it's easy for the masses. Like that's their pitch, like hassle-free, easy.
So this is for a naive investor, right? If you have if you find this everything is complex, you'll be paying higher, but you will find it easy, right?
Yeah, and they're reaching out to new set of customers to their marketing initiatives, right? And
So a lot of
they're saying
people
it's
enter
easier.
through this model, but what we believe is they'll mature and then they'll start using the open order model. Open order.
And what about CoinDCX? What is their approach?
They have both.
Yeah.
Okay.
And WazirX, they have buy option. They don't have a sell option in the two-way quote model, and then they have an order book.
Okay. What would be the ranking of these players? And like you told me, you did $2-3 million of GTV per day. What do these other players do?
Volume wise, right? So it's a game. If you see volume wise, there is no clear cut understanding of volume. Though the volumes are being quoted in Coin Market Cap, there is always a question of what the exchanges are quoting. But volume wise, if you see, I think WazirX will do a higher volume compared to others.
How much would they be doing, like their daily volume?
Yeah,
Like,
that's what they quote in coin market cap could be something, but it'll be tough for me to comment. No, I'm pretty not sure if that's what they're doing.
no, but what do they quote? Like, just to understand
Let's say
the
40
differences.
million.
Like,
40 million, yeah.
okay, okay, so they're about 10x of you
Ah.
currently. And these are the coin switch and coin
Well,
DCX.
the
What
coin
would they be
switch,
doing? Like,
see, coin switch, they don't give their volumes, right? Because it's a closed order book, it's very difficult to find, and they don't share the volumes. Coin DCX, they also have a liquidity sharing, so they accumulate a liquidity from multiple other international exchanges, and then they share a cumulative overall volume, right? So some of the volume is actually what they do, and rest of them is actually pulled from other exchanges.
so I thought these US exchanges, like the names we hear about, like
Coinbase,
I think Coinbase. Yeah, I thought these would be the biggest ones,
yes,
like because that's
Coinbase is big. See, Coinbase is in the regulated space, right? So they offer their services in US, I think, and in very few other countries, maybe Singapore, things like that. So Binance and Bitfinex, they offer their services across the globe. So they are cater to more users. For example, Indian users cannot access Coinbase.
hmm. Right. Okay. So these exchanges like Bitfinex and Binance, they don't have like a
They
KYC
do have.
norm because
They
they're not
do, they do,
part of
they
any
do.
They do have.
country.
They do have. So before, like 3-4 years back, it used to be very lax, but recently, like a lot of agencies are coming against them. So each of them have made their own changes. Like Bitfinex has a very strict KYC norm, right? Binance, there used to be like up to 2 Bitcoins, which is like a crore. Now you don't need a KYC, right? Now they have reduced that limit to 0.06 Bitcoin, right, per email account, right? So things are getting more and more stringent. But so the thing is, they don't have a regulated license to operate in Sweden.
So they're like incorporated in in one of those places where there is no regulation.
Or favorable.
Favorable crypto regulation.
Okay, and which is why WazirX, I think they have that collaboration with Binance, right?
So
I
Binance
think,
has bought Vazirek.
which allows them to offer liquidity. Okay. So talk to me about the type of coins. Like I think, like the way you have different items in a restaurant menu, and everything is meant for a certain need or whatever. So similarly, I think there are different types of coins. So talk to me about them. Like, what are the different kind of coins, and which coin is for what
Sure,
type of
sure.
person?
See, from the investor perspective, like the way there are multiple ways to categorize coins, right? There is like DeFi coins, NFT coins, platform coins, and then there is like currency, yeah, stable coin, currency coins, right? But from an investor perspective, right? The way like for any new investor, how we educate is like when you enter a stock market, what is the advice you get, right? You invest in a large cap or a blue chip to start off with, right? You have no clue. It's very difficult to go wrong by investing in a TCS or a HDFC or a HUL, right? So if you in the similar comparison here, you start with Bitcoin. The biggest problem Indian investors have is, or like maybe this is across the world, right? One Bitcoin is already $65,000, already above 50 lakh rupees, right? They think it's too late, right? But if you look at it in the large perspective, 10 years, it's just 10 years old. This overall tech is, we have a long way to go. 2 years back, people thought they were too late to invest in Bitcoin. 6 months back, people thought they were too late to invest in Bitcoin. So this is something that people always have. And see, when you are buying gold, right? Gold is 1 kg is I think more than 4 or 5 crores, right? But does it that? But you can still buy a gram, right? You don't go and buy 10 kilos of iron just because it's so cheap. But normally people want to have a lot of coins rather than having a fraction of a single coin, right? This happens in startup also, right? There's a saying: it's better to own 50% of a 100 crore startup than 100% of a 1 crore startup, right? So this is the normal advice they give when you are entering new, when you don't know a lot about a lot of coins. Don't invest in this meme coins. Don't invest in this high risk coins because already you are taking a risk by investing in cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrency is a risky asset class, right? It promises you 10x. At the same time, because there's a 10x possibility, there's also possibility of a zero, right? So in that, choose a safe asset, which is Bitcoin, and after Bitcoin, it's Ethereum, right?
So Bitcoin is like the blue
Absolutely.
chip category. So what are
So
the other
Ethereum is
categories?
also very close to Bitcoin, right? Uh,
Okay, these are both like
Absolutely.
blue chip
Right.
category.
So everything after that, it's almost like angel investing, right? You need to look at the team, right? Are they in the trend?
Hmm. So, but what team? These are decentralized.
Hmm,
there is no owner of a coin,
No,
right? Like what do you mean that
look
you
at
need to
Bitcoin.
look at the
Bitcoin,
team?
what happened is there is a guy called Satoshi Nakamoto. You always need a founder. Like you need someone to kickstart things. That idea comes from a team or a founder, right? He starts, and so it's just like a two-way, like how Giottus started. Initially, there's no buyer, right? Initially there's no seller. When there is a buyer who is coming, is not finding a seller, it goes away, right? We need to work hard to build that critical mass, to build that community, right? To build that user base. Once that is set, then things can get automated, right? After that, you no longer need the original person, right? You don't need to do all these kind of things. So in the same way, each and every coin has a founder and a founding team, development team, right? So they kickstart things. It is their vision that is being transformed into a project, right? And what happens is after Bitcoin, Ethereum came, so there is Vitalik Buterin, right? So generally the developers keep some part of that coins for themselves, right? It is in to their advantage. There's an incentive mechanism, just like ESOPs Vikram had. This is like the ESOP for them, right? If the value of if they do a very good job, the value of that coin rises and they make a lot of money. So they have this incentive, right? So all these coins generally have a developer team, right? And they all have, for example, Solana team. Each of them will hold some amount of Solana tokens, right? Generally, 15 to 20% is allocated for the developers, 20% is used for marketing activities, 10% for legal, and 40% is sold to the public. So this kind of arrangement exists in all these coins that do ICOs, right? So, so when it comes to cryptocurrencies, first we have to understand the question that you asked, right? What are the different types of cryptocurrencies? So the thing is the application, right? What is Bitcoin used for? Bitcoin is very uniquely positioned. It's a currency, right? There's no way to measure effectiveness of a currency.
Right. It's
Correct.
just about collective belief that what
Correct.
everyone.
Right. So it's
Right.
just like gold. You might find a new element, like say platinum or rhodium, that is 100 times like we talk about how noble it is. It doesn't react after even 1,000 years. Gold under the earth, if you take it out, it's still gold. Right. Those kind of elements you can still find. But because over 4,000 years people have built gold is the best thing, it's very difficult to dislocate that thought. Right. Nowadays, people are making artificial diamonds, which is better than the original diamonds, right? But still, people like you see start seeing campaigns like why you have to buy the original diamond and all those things, right? Same here. So it is very difficult for another currency to topple Bitcoin, right? So there are a lot of currency like Tezos, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, right? All of them are in one way or the other they are the currencies, but they are finding it very difficult to topple Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is very public, right? All the transactions you can see right from 2009 when it started to till date, all the transactions that have happened from which address to which address, how much coins have moved, all these things can be tracked. So people are saying there should be some anonymity. So there is some privacy coins, right? For example, Zcash, Monero. Okay, this is their USP, right? This is with respect to the currency part. The next is the platform. Okay, if you look at Ethereum, what Ethereum simply is, it's like a decentralized Google Play Store. So when you create an app, you take permission from Google and then you upload that app into the Play Store. Similarly, you can create a DApp, decentralized app, and launch it in the Ethereum platform, right? And it's all pay per use, so there's no censorship. Anyone who wants to create a DApp, they can go ahead and launch in Ethereum without asking for permission or anything. And it's pay as you go. If you are making one transaction on that network, right, you pay what is the gas fee. Okay, it cost me 100. So
What is
this is
gas?
just
What do
like
you mean by gas
all
fee?
those weighing machines are there in the bus stands, right? You put 1 rupee and you get this thing. It's similar. So Ethereum is like that weighing machine. Anyone who wants to run an application on that, they are going to consume some computing resources, right? They'll do 5 multiplications, 10 additions, few storage.
And these computing resources are
Yes,
provided by the
yes,
miners.
Yes.
So there is a pool of miners who provide computing resources, and those computing resources are accessed by the dApps. And in return for accessing those resources, the dApps pay in Ethereum to the miners. Like the miners mine Ethereum, which is a way of getting paid
Absolutely,
for
absolutely.
providing the
Right.
computing
If we
resources.
talk about mining, so miners have two incentives. One is the transaction fee that we pay. Second is new coins being minted. Like if you talk about how bitcoins are created, this is how it's created. Every time they add a block, right? Some new bitcoins are issued. This is how bitcoins come into existence. Same thing happens. So miners will have two income streams. One is the transaction fee that we pay. Second is the mining reward, people call it. So this is about Ethereum, right? So Ethereum, all these dApps I spoke, right? These are all in a way tokens, right? For example, look at what Uber is doing. Uber is doing a very easy job, right? It finds the nearest driver and allocates to the rider, right? If this logic I can take and put it into the Ethereum blockchain, right? Right now I'm paying 35% cut, right? So why should I pay 35% cut for doing the simple match? Just like how Wikipedia exists, right? You don't pay for accessing data from Wikipedia, right? So similarly, I'm creating an Uber-like dApp and putting it on the blockchain, and a driver and rider, they can do the match themselves, and this middleman is eliminated. So similarly, each and every transaction you can put a decentralized way of doing it. You can do it for a Zomato, you can do it for an Amazon, right? You can do it for a social media network, right? For me to watch your photos, why do I need Facebook permission, and why does Facebook have access to your photos, right? So see, and the key important thing about like these cryptocurrencies is they need a blockchain platform, right? All these miners are protecting the platform in a way, right? But if you want to create a small application, you don't want to do all these things from the scratch, having your own nodes, your own blockchain, your own set of miners. So what you can do is your application you just create and run it on Ethereum. Just like how we don't have our own servers, we just use the AWS servers. Ethereum provides this entire pre-built set of templates, and you can just run operations on that. But the problem with Ethereum is there's a lot of traffic now. A lot of dApps are created, like this USDT Tether, and a lot of tokens like Chainlink. All these tokens they all run on Ethereum, right? I so
Okay. What is the difference between token
yes,
and coin?
see, token is
Ethereum is a
something that
coin.
runs on a other blockchain platform. Okay, Ethereum is a coin, but people actually use it, what to say, both, right, interchangeably, right? So sometimes they mean token when they say coin, and it's kind of became a normal thing, so you don't even have to correct them. But normally there are two different things. Some coins have their own blockchain. Tokens generally they don't have their own blockchain, they piggyback on a larger blockchain and use their computing resources, and then they pay, right?
And basically, a blockchain is like a
Yes.
decentralized AWS where these miners are providing storage and computing power in
Yes,
exchange
but
for
because
coins.
these are
Okay.
more like applications, I kind of always compare it with the Play Store, right? So each of them has a specific app, because a normal retail customer he has no clue how an AWS works, right? So for him, it's easy to understand. Okay, there's a Google Play Store. I can go and use the apps that run on it, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So this is what Ethereum does. But Ethereum there's a lot of traffic. So for even sending a doing a small transaction, it takes 1,500 rupees, right? For each and every transaction, right? For example, sending one USDT from my account to Vikram's account, it's a transaction, right? So, because the costs are high, because in blockchain, what happens is they are not kept things free. If it's free, what happens is what happens to your email, right? There is a lot of spam. To prevent spam, there is a fee that you allocate. Since there's no censorship, higher the fee you pay, higher the priority you get. So but when there's a lot of traffic, what happens is each of them start outbidding others, right? For me, this transaction is really important. I'll pay 2,000 rupees for this transaction to pass through. Someone pays 2,500 to pass through, right? So because of it
So
becomes
his passes through first. Okay.
yes,
So either you go for slow and cheap on Ethereum, or you go for fast and expensive.
yes, yes. So you have that choice. Sometimes I don't have to pay him immediately. Agar next 2-3 days whenever it reaches him, it's okay. In that case, you can pay a low gas fee. So these things exist. But so what? But there is a bottleneck. There is a problem with Ethereum congestion, right? So there are a lot of other blockchains which are saying they are solving it. Solano is one. Solana is one, right? Then there is Luna, there's Tron, EOS, right? The key part is,
what is their positioning? Like, what is Solana's positioning, or what is Solana's pitch to people that why they should choose Solana over Ethereum?
see, all these people, what they promise is throughput. They support 3 million, 300,000 transactions per second, 400,000 transactions per second. That's what they are trying to talk about.
And which Ethereum does not
Let
support.
me pitch in here. So, Akshay, so what they're doing is the same problem is being solved with different solutions here. Okay. So, what Ethereum is trying to solve, it's through the way through which a transaction will get accepted or be mined. Ethereum is trying to solve through a new concept called proof of stake now. There's another blockchain which will have a different concept called proof of history. So each of this platform is trying to find in a new solution to accept a transaction or process a transaction. So this new solution, right, is the one which decides what is the throughput they will have. This new solution, is it allowing 1,000 transactions per second or 5,000 transactions per second? Now there are two problems that will come in, right? Now one solution is saying I am okay to allow 10,000 transactions per second. Then the biggest question comes is how secure are they, right? What is Ethereum working on? Now I am saying this is my throughput, but my solution has been proven for the last 5 to 6 years to be solid. Now, what Bitcoin says, okay, my throughput is even lesser than the Ethereum's throughput, but the solution that I'm providing is so solid and it's run for 11 years without any issue, right? So, two key parameters: throughput is one,
and
what is security?
And third is decentralization, right? There are blockchains like Ripple, which is heavily centralized, right? It's almost like a Visa, Mastercard, right? There's like one computing system that's processing all the transactions. So in that case, you can even offer 1 million transactions per second, right? There's no issue, right? But when you want to do it in a decentralized way, when you want to have multiple people,
What is the advantage of going decentralized? Like, why not just use Ripple? It'll probably be cheaper
so
also.
again, then there's a middleman. Then you are going back to the old ways of having a Facebook or Google in the middle.
Now,
who
I'll
would
give
again
you a
have control
simple
over.
example. No, now Ripple, for example, any coin. Suppose you have printed 1 million coins, right? You put into circulation. Now I am a centralized, centralized company like Ripple or anyone. Okay, now you have purchased 10,000 of that coin, and they're valued at, for example, each coin is valued at 10,000 rupees. Tomorrow, I decide, a centralized guy, I decide I'll print one more 1 million coin. What is going to happen? Your value drops heavily, right? This is one of the major reasons why Bitcoin came in, right? Now, whenever there's a centralized authority and they do monetary easing, unnecessarily your value is getting slashed out, right?
And
So that
what
is one
generally happens
reason.
is, yeah. So what becomes is happens, right? The new guy says, I'm not going to be like the old guy, right? Maybe Ripple has this problem, but I am going to be very honest. I am going to be corruption free. But then it's going to be the same thing. So the thing is, don't trust a person, trust the blockchain, right? So this means these are called trustless systems. You don't have to trust one person to be ethical, right? One person should be like,
The system is designed in such a way that there is no incentive
yes.
to
No,
cheat.
Normally,
see,
a
actually,
central
it is
system,
said that
banks, how
that
they get
even
hacked.
if there are all crooks running the system, still they cannot, make any mistake, right? So that's why
So,
it's
so
called a
that's what
trustless
happens, right?
system.
So in a bank, if there's like one insider employee who is willing to compromise the credentials, you're able to hack it. So here, anyone can participate. So it's assumed that the hacker is part of the network, right? Even then, they are not able to do anything. That is the power of this network, right? That is why centralization is not good. At any point in time, that guy can say, "I'm going to switch off this network" or take a drastic decision, right?
Or get
Get hacked.
hacked. That is
Right.
also a
Too
risk.
much of centralization is always
Hmm.
bad. See, look at all the bank servers, right? Sunday there is a downtime. In the night time there is a downtime, right? Bitcoin has been running for 10 years. There's no downtime because there's no centralization. This thing it's spread through. Of course, the throughput cannot be matched, right? Banks will process much more transactions, but this throughput problem is the internet problem. In 1990s, we had like a what is a 56 kbps, 28 kbps modems, right? Throughput and bandwidth issues are always solved eventually, right? So today it is not. It may be a problem. Maybe 5 years, 10 years down the line, Bitcoin will have a higher throughput because they are implementing one solution after the other. there is a lightning network, there's a schnorr signature that they are bringing in, which will make it much more compact. Ethereum is bringing sharding, and there is also layer 2 solutions. Okay, still now I spoke about platform,
So
right?
Akshay, so see, the thing
Ethereum
is
is a
now
platform.
these
There
platform
are Ethereum
coins are
killer,
very important in the
like
sense what they have done. They have created industries, larger industries within the crypto space. Now, if I take for example, now in an equity market, what you will do, the strategy will be have a multi-cap fund that you will invest in, spread it across, or else what you will do sector specific investments, right? Till some 4 to 5 years back, these clear cut industries were not there in cryptos. Now, all the coins that were created, they were solving some tech problem which a customer was not able to relate to. Now, with these platforms, now like Ethereum platform, like Arjun was saying, you can build an application as such. One of the largest industry that has gotten built in this is the DeFi industry, lending, savings account, and all the models that you're seeing, right? Providing liquidity, a decentralized exchange, a DEX as people call it, right? All this has been possible because these platforms have come into being. Now, when you now you see from tech point of view and from the investment point of view. From tech point of view, what has happened? A platform has been built which is helping throughput. Be it Ethereum, which is the largest platform now, where a lot of dApps are being built, where DeFi is currently holding a larger share now. Now, these same products can also be built in other platforms with a promise of a better throughput and a better security, even. Okay. Now, what
Right,
Solana
right.
or
Like Solana.
NFTs? There's a lot of promise that people are putting on Solana for NFTs and all, right? Now, what you can choose now, platform which can win in future can be one type of investment, or you split your investment and put it into different platforms. Now, in the platform itself, let's see if you're not betting into the platforms, you're betting into the industries. Now, what are all the industries? DeFi is an industry, NFT is an industry. Now, stable coin per se is an industry, but I don't look it as an investment opportunity per se, right? Now, platform
but
and then industries which are
but
getting
see,
created.
people use stable coins across. For example, USDT is the most popular, right? If you take Luna for example, they have a stable coin that is directly related to the token Luna. Okay, there's a Terra and there's a stable coin. So what is happening is, for creating that stable coin, issuing $1 of stable coin, you need to burn some amount of Luna, right? So the more and more people use that stable coin, the supply of Luna will reduce by that much, and the Luna's price will increase. Okay, so Vikram might say stable coins, you may not look at an investment, but you can observe stable coins and see which are the platforms people are actually using. And based on that, see, USDT is existing on multiple platforms. You can use it on Tron network, you can use it on Celo network, you can use it on Ethereum network, right? You can see the interactions and find which is the most popular platform. That way also. See, so far we have spoken about this, right? Let's talk about Matic, right? Matic is one of the biggest projects to come out of India, not one of the biggest project, and they have an amazingly simple solution to reduce congestion in Ethereum. So Ethereum congestion, you can think it as a road that goes through the city, right? Right? They are asking, why should all the traffic be routed through the city, right? Why don't we create a bypass? But in that way, if everything goes through the bypass, also there's an issue, right? You don't trust that bypass. You trust this as the main thing. So what Matic does is, this is called a layer 2 solution. Lot of heavy transactions and all those things, you do it in Matic network, but the key results to prove that these are the things that have happened, I go back and store it in the Ethereum network. Okay, so lot of applications, games, right, where you need intensive computation, they all started moving to Matic because it provides the security of Ethereum network without compromising on the throughput, right? In future, there can be multiple layer 2 solutions and one main network like Ethereum. See, also internet, you see a lot of winner take all effects. In search, there is just Google, right? In social media, there's Facebook, e-commerce is Amazon. So similarly, maybe 10 years from now, there may be just one platform like Ethereum, right? Or it could be just Solana.
Like Vikram was saying, there are different industries working on different platforms. Like if you bet on DeFi, then you should buy
See, no, let's do
Ethereum.
this.
So,
No, see, what is
what?
happening now? Each token that is built on top of DeFi, built on top of Ethereum, they're having their own value, right? From an investment point of view, right, what you should be looking into is how I maintain a portfolio, right? Now, it is usually like how you start, you get into a large cap, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Then there are two options that are open to you. Are you going to go sector specific, or are you going to have a multi-cap balanced investment, right? Suppose you are someone who's into reading, right, and you like reading technology, it is advisable to go sector specific. What will happen? You'll start reading about DeFi. Like Arjun was quoting, right? Now, Matic is going to help Ethereum's congestion. If you're someone who's being able to read this and understand this, you can pick up projects like this. Now, different problems are solving the same issue differently, right? There's a platform called Polkadot, which is going with the concept of exclusivity of projects. Not every project can be there, right? Only a chosen projects, right? They have a concept of parachain and everything. Now, if you're someone who likes to read all these projects, you can take sector specific, saying that I will invest in platform coins.
If you got a, let's say, a crore, what coin would you invest it in? Like, what is your personal favorite that you would want to bet on?
My favorite is Bitcoin, right? The second favorite is Ethereum. So the thing is, making money is easy, but keeping that money is very difficult, right? So if you have a crore in hand, the first thing that you have to protect your investment, right? Basically, people say return on principal is less important than return off principal, right? So it should not become zero. So you put, I will say, 80% in Bitcoin and Ethereum. The ratio can be different, 60-20, 40-40, 30-50, right? However you want, you can do it, right? But I will say 80% we have to stick to Bitcoin and Ethereum. 20% I'll take random wild bets, right? So yes, so 2% in Solana, 1% in SHIB, 1% in Dodge. Maybe they can go 10x or even 100x. So in that case, that 1% will give me the entire corpus back, right? But if it goes to zero, I'm still left with 99% intact. Right? So I'm taking risk, but a very calculated risk. So that's how I would do it.
So, we first thing you'll have to register us as the risky investors. Okay, that's why we are in this space, right? We have our own careers built here, right? See, ideally, right? So we both are extreme believers of Bitcoin, right? So my huge chunk will always rest with Bitcoin. Maybe 50% will rest with Bitcoin. Now the rest 50, I would try to split it across industries and platform, right? Now, I would part some in Ethereum, I would part some in Solano, some in Polkadot. Ethereum will have a higher percentage, right? I would put maybe 20% in Ethereum, 10% in other platform, right? Now, after
Like
that,
Solana and what else?
I'm also a fan of Polkadot. I'll try to put in Polkadot, right? See, after this, then comes further industry specific, right? Now I went to platforms and I'll try to put in industry specific. In DeFi, I'll try to split, right?
So 50% you'll put in Bitcoin. What about the
Yeah.
remaining percent?
Yeah. So maybe the rest 20 in Ethereum, okay, 10 in Solano, 10 in Polkadot, right? Now, apart from this, then I'll do something industry specific. Yeah. See, for example, in DeFi, I will try to choose one or two projects, right? Maybe a lend or an AV or a comp, one or two projects which are there, and going stable now for some time, right? After that, we'll try to do something in NFT. NFT is a market that is growing and booming. Either it's an NFT direct coin purchase or an NFT as such, to be purchased, which is the thing that is booming right now, right?
What is an NFT
Now,
coin?
okay, see now the concept of non-fungible token is now every token like a Bitcoin or Ethereum, they are fungible. Fungible meaning if you are holding one Bitcoin, I'm holding one Bitcoin, we can just swap it. Both are same one Bitcoin, right? In NFT, what happens? Each of these tokens have got different values, different perception, right? This is for sake of it. You have a white T-shirt, I have a white T-shirt, but your white T-shirt has got MS Dhoni signature in it. The value suddenly changes, right? So in NFT coin, what happens in each of the tokens, you can associate some values to it, right? Now the famous thing is the paintings, right? What is happening? There are digital arts and everything where you can associate with each of these tokens. So the value for each of the tokens within a coin itself, it will vary.
Okay.
right?
And which
So
are
this
the
is the
coins which are used for NFT? Like,
See now, before seeing into NFT coins, right, you can also check into a lot of NFT platforms like OpenSea and everything. If you go and check out these coins, you could go check out things which are being listed there. You'll find funny, like Theta is one, Mana is one. These are all NFT tokens. Try to check out OpenSea. I think OpenSea runs on Solana, if I'm not wrong, right? Where you will see a lot of these paintings. At times you will find what craziness is this? Why are these guys?
like
You know,
bored
you will
apes
find a
and
you'll find a
what?
guy selling
Uh,
a stick diagram
uh,
for ten
uh,
dollars. Right?
uh, uh.
But yeah, this is you see now application wise, it's such a huge industry. Now, if you look into the concept of metaverse, why is Facebook suddenly talking about metaverse, a virtual world and everything, right? This is reality that is going to happen, right? Now, when I'm talking about NFT, I'm also talking things like digital land to be owned, right? Now imagine, right? Facebook is trying to have that second life concept which came sometime back, where you will be having an avatar which is in a social media platform and everything, and you'll be interacting. Imagine in that second life you will be owning a land that you can sell it. So these concepts will look way too much to think now, right? But it is happening now. Like for example, the Beeple's uh, art which got sold, right, for $250 million or something. That was I'm not sure if you know it. It was an Indian who bought that painting, right? As a matter of fact, he's my Bits Pilani junior, right? So he had bought it. If you try to see what is the logic, why he had spent so much money. So he has his platform, which is a virtual world where people can play in that virtual world. He is going to put it in one of the virtual museum that he's going to build it. He's going to put this painting inside. People who want to view that painting is going to give an entry fee and go view the painting. This looks too much for someone who's not inside the world to understand. But this is the revenue model, right? This is a beautiful revenue model that he's making money out of, right? So this NFT they'll be parting some with, right? And right, the next main thing, right? I would also put some money into a very small percentage of, less than a 1% or something into these meme coins. Why? Just for the fun of it, right? Because you crazily don't know what is going to kick in, right? Now, see, as a matter of fact, you might never know. Dogecoin might sometime become one of the leading coins, right? It has got the blockchain, it's got the mining power. Crazily, everyone we thought that this is the big thing that is going to happen, right? So this is possible to happen. So I'll part some and put it in these meme coins as well, right? But if you're going to ask me, am I going to put in all the coins which are going to end with the name Inu, Shib Inu, or all the maybe no, right? For the sake of betting and playing things, I'll put in one of these coins. Now, but ideally, if you see what I've done is each of this industry and year or year and a half back, they were nothing. They were very small, right? Now, for example, right, a DEX, a decentralized exchange, was so small, right? 2 to 3 years back, people are saying, who will put in DEX? Now there are DEX, right? Right now there are projects, Pancake Swap and all these projects that have come up, right? So these industries will grow is the bet, right? When the industries grow, you already have put in a project which has been proven for 6 to 8 months at least. 6 to 8 months is a big deal in the crypto industry, right? So that's how I'll be trying to do is 50% in a large cap that I bet in, right? And Ethereum another 20%, 50 to 70% in large caps. Then I go spread it across sectors. Now, even if one of the sectors grows big, I'll get my returns back.
Okay. What are these DAX projects? Like you said, Pancake Swap. So help me
See,
understand.
basically, we are all centralized exchanges. Okay, uh, we run the show, right? Now, imagine on the top of Ethereum or any of this platform, I write the logic saying that buyer and seller order matching do like this, and then you exchange the coins like this. So the whole exchange, what we are running here, just take the fiat part out of it. Still, fiat should be centralized because there's a bank that is involved in everything. Imagine a crypto to crypto trade that is happening, right?
Now, you
What
don't need
you
an
do,
exchange for
you don't
crypto
need
to
an
crypto.
exchange. There's just general logic that has to run and do. Here, the biggest challenge is liquidity, right? Liquidity and what is the price that pays the biggest challenge here. So in this scenario, all these projects, what they do, they try to solve the liquidity by giving incentive to the people who is providing liquidity. Right? If you go and put liquidity, you will get some 1%, 2%, 3% returns. Right? Then these projects,
How
they
do you
have
put
something.
liquidity? Like you put up stuff for sale. Like if you put coin for sale, then you're providing liquidity.
Well, let's consider it as simple as that. No, I'm going and putting like 1,000 USDT for as a liquidity pool. That I'm getting going to get returns from that. Right? Now that is the incentive for me to go put in liquidity there. Correct? The next main thing is these dexes have to make sure that the prices are being perfectly driven, right? For example, based on the liquidity that is there, suppose if I am putting one Bitcoin purchase, I'll get one price. 10 Bitcoin, the price will be higher because of the liquidity issues, right? So now the price management, everything should happen. This is done through one of the algorithms that they will have called a price oracle and stuff like that, which is a main concept, right? A DEX with a very good price oracle will be appreciated much more than a bad price oracle. A DEX with a very good liquidity will be appreciated much more than so all these DEX projects are coming in. Now imagine, no, now these projects have an issue of Ethereum's blockchain being very expensive. When you're making a buy and sell in a DEX, actual Ethereum transactions are happening. So you're actually paying a fee, even Ethereum fee, when this is also happening, which is a big trouble, right? So now what these DEX are also saying, why should we always be based on Ethereum? Why can't we look into other platforms, right? So now each of these industries, where are they moving towards? Which are the platforms that they're moving towards? These are all things that we can track to. If they are moving into, for example, a Polkadot or a Solano or a Tron, we have to look for all these things. When we are looking into a lot of DeFi's moving into this platform, then that's the time to go purchase, cryptos from these platforms, right?
Got it.
So,
Okay.
so what you will
So, which
do?
is why you like Polkadot, because DeFi's are moving or DAXs
No,
are
not
moving to
necessarily.
it.
No, no. I like Polkadot because they are giving some exclusivity for projects. See, it is more like they've created chains, like individual chains, and not everyone can be part of the chain. And only some 100 projects or 100 projects, if I'm not wrong, can be part of the chain, which will control the throughput issue of the platform. So now what is happening for those 100 platforms to come in? There's a race, right? Like it's more like there's another sister platform where these platforms will come in first, and then the pretty good platforms they will apply to come into Polkadot. So this is like layering and then taking a cream out and bringing into this platform. So ideally, there is more chance for these projects to run better, right? So Polkadot is giving an option for these guys to be creamed out and layered out. So these projects most probably will work better than other projects. Hence, the base platform of Polkadot might also work better, right? But that is again the main thing is there's a lot of mites here because Ethereum is much older than much proven abilities and capabilities, right? So the bet is always higher in Ethereum compared to these platforms.
I think a lot of it is essentially about which coin is attracting the best talent, right? Because, like you said, the best algorithm wins, or whoever.
See, this is all community driven, no? This is a tech See, whatever you say at the end, these are all pure play tech products. Pure play tech products which are open source, right? Like a Linux. The best of the minds are sitting in developing Linux as an open source. That's why Linux is better than every other operating system. Now, in this, Ethereum is having some set of developers. These guys are having some set of developers. Now, who is going to attract the best developer community to build their product matters here. Ethereum has done a beautiful job in that. That is why you're seeing a lot of innovation happening in Ethereum. Now, the other projects we are talking about, they are also having some good founders, good people who are being developing that. But the results that they have to start showing, the smart contract capabilities they have to start showing, that matters. Ethereum has already shown it. These
See,
projects have to show it.
see, the biggest achievement of this decade is like the 2000s. The best of the minds, engineers, they were like spending all the time coding to make people click more or watch more ads, right? That was all the major tech platforms. That was the major way to get money, and that's what they are focusing on, right? 90s were the most productive time for the internet. The protocols were getting designed, standards were being set, right? 2000, but again, we are coming back to that phase where the most brilliant minds they have a very challenging problem to solve, right? And there is a race, just like how we had this race to the moon, right? Whether it's Soviet or US, there's an actual race. And the good thing is like a lot of money is also flowing in. The way Satoshi Nakamoto did is like the tech, the protocol, he also connected to the money aspect, right? This is the most important thing, right? You might have the most beautiful idea, but if there's no financial incentive, how will you attract best of the talents? So
But
all
these people who are part of the Bitcoin developer community, they're not earning Bitcoins, right? Because they're not the miners, right? Or
yes, so they are not, but they have this incentive, right? Like this open source community. Why do they do things? They want to be part of something big, right? What can be bigger than Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is the biggest open source project. If you can do something and your part of your code gets listed in Bitcoin, it's featured, right? You don't need anything else, right? And these people make money outside. They'll do have side projects. Like I'll be happy to hire someone who has worked in the Bitcoin mainnet, right? They'll be speakers.
See, it's more about recognition here, Akshay. If they say their code, whatever they built, has been accepted into the main project, it's a recognition. It means that you're a very solid programmer.
And this is going to be there hundreds of years, right? Bitcoin, if it stands the test of time, you are part of history.
so in a way, they are also like investors, possibly. Like they would own some Bitcoin, and they're so passionate
So,
about it that they would also be contributing code
of
to it.
course,
And
see, they will take payments in form of Bitcoin when they make a speaking assignment, all those things. So they would want to get paid in Bitcoins, right? And they will not sell all those coins. They are definitely going to hold.
what's your advice to people who are new to cryptocurrency? Like, what is the way in which the shit can hit the fan, so to say? Like what can go wrong?
So the first thing is don't go all in, like Vikram said, right? So there are people like saying that I need money 3 months from now, 6 months from now, but I want to invest in cryptocurrencies and I want to take the money out in 6 months, right? The more volatile the asset is, right, the longer your time horizon should be. So anything you need in the medium term, you cannot invest in cryptocurrencies. Like maybe it be for your children's education, it could be a hospital expense, all those things. Never put something in cryptocurrencies because it's extremely volatile. And see, when there is a risk of Bitcoin going to 10x, it is because it's a very nascent technology. Right? When you mean nascent, there's also a risk of it failing. We are in this industry, we are believers, we have created careers here, but even us, we will not sell our house and put all our money in Bitcoins. Because in 2005, Orkut was a great idea. Right? Then there was MySpace, Hi-Fi, then Facebook. Right? So we are believers, we strongly believe Bitcoin is going to be the future, but we don't go all in. There's a risk. We have to understand the risk before entering, right? You can have a dream and all those things, right? But put only money that you can afford to lose, and that too based on your risk appetite. That is like the number one advice. Number two is I'll say start small, right? And gradually grow your this thing. Don't take all the money and put it in one this thing. You burn your hands. Now you have understood the industry, but you don't have any more funds to bring in, right? I'll say you are going to make some losses, right? Start small, lose small, but the important thing is keep learning, right? Like 4 years back, we knew nothing, or like 5, 6 years back, we knew nothing about cryptocurrencies, right? But we ensured that we understood the space, what the space is about, what is the next big thing, what is the next big thing, what is happening, right? So always don't just put your money, also spend time to understand the projects, right? Because here you have an edge if you can understand the technology. So if you're not able to do all these things, if you're not able to read white papers, if you're not able to watch YouTube videos and understand or able to evaluate projects, I'll say only invest small money or even stay away from it. Right? If you want
You
to
can't be
blindly
a passive investor in when it comes to crypto.
in shit coins, right? See, if my friend is coming or my aunt or my mom, I'll say invest in Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Right, right,
Don't
right.
go beyond that, right? Because you're not understanding the sector, right? Bitcoin and Ethereum is relatively safe, and even then, right? I'm not going to say like put 20% or 50% of portfolio value. Overall, whatever your assets, put 2%, 3%. If you are having extremely risk appetite, extreme risk, you put 5% to 10%, right? But don't go beyond that, right? And start with Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then move to small caps. Don't look at like just because this Bitcoin has gone from 10 rupees, it has gone to now 50 lakhs. This coin is 10 rupees. So this is a pitch that a lot of uh, scammers do, right?
Yeah, right, right.
Few years back, people thought launching a coin was a very difficult thing. Today, there are ready-made templates that exist. Launching a coin is very easy. It's not so difficult at all. It is that ecosystem, the application, that's what makes it worth it, right? So there will be a lot of people try. They'll have their own coin. They'll pitch it to you. Say Bitcoin went from 10 rupees to 50 lakhs, right? This coin is also at 10 rupees. Why don't you buy 1,000 coins, 10,000 coins? Don't invest in those things, right? So let them get mainstream and then invest. And there are other basic digital guidelines that you normally follow, right? Safety hygiene, like don't share your OTP, don't share your password, right? See, Bitcoin allows you to be your own bank, right? You don't have to store your cryptocurrencies in Giottus. You don't have to store in any exchange. You can store it yourself. But with great power comes great responsibility, right? The curious thing about the crypto is there's no forgot your password, right?
Right. Yeah. If
When
you
you store
forgot
it,
your password, then it's gone.
yeah, if you store it in Geotest, there's a forgot your password option because you are not holding the keys. We are holding the keys. We are the custodian. But when you try to store it yourself, right, there are two problems that can come. You copy the keys and keep it everywhere so that you don't lose it. But if it gets in the hand of some random person, he is going to take away all your bitcoins because they are not doing any verification. The Bitcoin network doesn't do any verification. The guy who has the password, he has the control. Second part is you have only one copy and there is a fire or some random thing, it gets destroyed. That money will stay in that address. You can see that, but you'll not be able to use it. There are like so many stories in this space. People have had 10,000 bitcoins, 5,000 bitcoins, and they're not able to reclaim it because they have lost access to their password. Right? So be very careful. Right? And I'd say, see, for us, if customer trades more, we earn more. But we would advise the customer not to do a lot of trading, right? Invest and sit tight, right? Do as little trading as possible. Don't be very trigger happy. Warren Buffett says he has all his money, like 90% of his investments, he has made only through five investments, right? You don't have to invest in every new idea. You don't have to invest in every this thing. You should be willing to let go of a lot of things, right? So what normally happens is the trader mindset, the disciplined traders, when the price goes down, they buy. When it goes up, they sell. Right? But this is what you will also want to do. Everyone wants to do. They want to buy low and sell high. But a typical emotional human, what he does is when it goes high, he becomes FOMO. I put only 10 lakhs. I should put more. Okay,
Like these
more and
meme
more.
coins.
Yes, I'll put more money, more money, more money. Right? And when it goes down, you panic. Oh my God, I already got to $30,000. Right? Let me sell it off before it goes to zero. Right? Again, when it bounces back to $40,000, they'll again buy. So in the last, now Bitcoin is today, it's at the all-time high price. No one who has been in this business for 4 5 years, they should be in loss. But there are people who are in loss. They have bought at $50,000, sold at $30,000, then buy again at 40,000. Right? They sell it all. So this is a very common thing. Like people say, "What are you doing?" They'll say, "I normally what I do is buy high and sell low."
Basically, there's like fundamentals of investing, na? Like don't be driven by greed and fear.
Absolutely, right? So people want to do the opposite, but they cannot control their emotions. They don't have the discipline. So you can even do it SIP, right? If you think you don't have, automate as much as possible. Don't take decisions. Don't. I will say if you don't have any new money to invest, don't even watch your portfolio. If you're just investing,
Does Giottus have like an SIP product?
yes, that is something we are launching this month. So we are happy to.
Okay, good that you're asked at the podcast. It's actually launching
Yeah.
in the next 2 weeks, right? So
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
we're having an
Okay.
SIP product. Uh, yeah, which can help customers to streamline their investment, right? And help beat the volatility, no? So else,
So, see, in 2017, people were thinking, right now the $13,000, I should have bought it at $2,000.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I should have bought it at $5,000, $6,000. But today, the thing is, you should have bought Bitcoin, irrespective of the price. It's at $60,000, right? Don't try to time it. It's very difficult to time. Even the most experts, they are finding it very difficult. So I'll say the best time to invest in Bitcoin is today, right? So don't invest fully. Put 20% or 30%. Keep some lump sum. Even if it dips, you can buy Bitcoin at a better price. What if it doesn't dip and goes straight away to $100,000? You still have some Bitcoin. You're already in profit, right? So spread your investments, invest periodically. And if you're investing in shit coins, right? Don't forget
What
about
is
crypto.
shitcoin? Is the like these Doge and all?
So, I mean, some people will call it the best coins, right? Everyone will have their own definition
See,
of
you
shit
might
coin.
never know, huh? You might never know, like Musk says, Mars will start adopting Doge, anything can happen, right?
See, this is a learning that we got, right? It's a very important learning. In 2017, we stayed away from projects that we thought were not good, right? They're very hyped, but we thought they were not good. And they went on to become 50x, 100x, despite not having fundamentals, right? So there are very good technology you can invest for a long term. And there are like a lot of short term money making opportunities, like all this DeFi, like whatever is in trend, you can go and blindly put invest, make 3x return, and then take the money out, right? I'm not investing in for long term, right? I'm just riding on the hype. So you should have a clear thesis why you are doing what you are doing, and when you do what you will do, right? When I'm going to exit, when I'm going to enter, all those things we have planned. I mean, this is very easy to talk, but very difficult to implement. Over a period of after 2 3 years in the space, you will start getting all these things naturally. So that's why I'm saying don't go all in the first year. You need to have some chips to bet at the later years also.
If you like the Founder Thesis podcast, then do check out our other shows on subjects like marketing, technology, career advice, books, and drama. Visit thepodium.in, that is thepodium.in, for a complete list of all our shows.